The sky above the Mushroom Kingdom was ink-black, choked by rolling thunderclouds that rumbled like distant roars. Mario gripped the hilt of his hammer tighter, his gloved hands damp with sweat. The air inside Bowser's castle felt thick, heavy, almost alive, as though the stone walls were breathing. A flickering torch sputtered in its sconce, casting jagged shadows that danced like specters on the cold stone floor. He wasn't alone. He could feel it. Somewhere deep within the labyrinth of the castle, Princess Peach called out, her voice faint and warped by the echoing halls. It was a drawn-out wail, dripping with despair. But something about it was off, like the voice had been stretched too far, pulled thin by invisible claws. Mario swallowed hard, his iconic red cap slightly askew, his mustache damp from the sweat beading on his lip. Every step he took toward the source of the sound seemed to summon whispers. Not voices exactly, just sounds. Faint, scraping, almost like dry bones clacking together. He rounded a corner, his boots scuffing on the floor. The castle felt endless, a maze that defied reason. Doors appeared where they shouldn't, hallways seemed to spiral. The air itself carried a faint metallic tang, like blood left to rust. And then, in the shadows ahead, a pair of glowing yellow eyes blinked open. "Bowser," Mario hissed, his voice low and tight. The eyes narrowed, and a voice that sounded like grinding rock replied,
"You're too late, plumber."
Mario lunged forward, swinging his hammer, but the eyes vanished into the darkness, leaving only a guttural laugh that echoed endlessly. Peach's voice returned, louder now, closer.
"Mario, help me."
He sprinted toward the voice, the torches along the walls flaring and extinguishing as he passed. Finally, he burst into a cavernous throne room. There she was, Princess Peach. But something was wrong. She sat in the middle of the room on a throne of jagged stone, her head tilted unnaturally to one side. Her dress was tattered, her golden hair hanging limply over her face. Her hands clutched the armrests with an unnatural strength, the veins in her arms bulging dark blue. When she looked up, her eyes weren't her own. They glowed the same sickly yellow as Bowser's. "Mario," she whispered, but her mouth didn't move. He froze, his hammer slipping from his hand and clattering to the floor. "Peach?" From the shadows behind her, Bowser emerged, his massive frame barely visible except for his glowing eyes and jagged teeth.
"She's mine now,"
he growled. "And so are you." Before Mario could react, Peach's body twisted grotesquely, her limbs bending at impossible angles as she rose from the throne. Her laugh was no longer her own, it was deep, guttural, a sound that echoed in the deepest pits of his mind. Mario turned to run, but the castle itself betrayed him. The doors slammed shut with a deafening boom, and the walls began to close in. The shadows grew, twisting and coiling like living things, reaching for him with clawed hands. "Stay," Bowser rumbled. "We'll play forever." Mario's scream echoed through the castle, mixing with Peach's haunting laughter. Outside, the Mushroom Kingdom fell silent, the black clouds above the castle swallowing the light. Mario was never seen again. But some nights, if you stood close enough to the castle ruins, you could still hear his screams.